And so let's take a look at how thoughts become things. So, first of all, to understand that I've been teaching this for over 30 years, and it's been effective with all kinds of people. A few of you actually who are on the show, the program, the first responders tonight, and I literally have helped thousands of people around the world, and this teaching has actually, in the last about 5 years, been proven by all of science, including neuroscientists, physiologists, molecular biologists, that basically have all concluded that there are three steps in order to have thoughts become things. And what the scientists say is that everything starts with our thought. And indeed, it does. A lot of people say, well, I want to do God's will. Well, believe it or not, God's will is for you to do the asking, you to experience life, for you to do the asking. This is your thoughts, if you will. And God's will is to allow God to figure out how you should get there. Christ said it in this way, that the Father does the work, that we ask and then we shall receive. So the scientists are right on with that. It all starts with our thoughts. The second step, according to scientists, is that our thoughts create energy. And this is absolutely true also. And it is the second step to create everything that we want. And that energy is our emotions. So think about our feelings. We've actually been told, especially us guys, oh, don't show emotions. Like I love going to chick flicks and crying and stuff. And most people are like, oh boy, what's wrong with you? Like everything's right with me because it's really all about our feelings. When we can feel that we have something without having it, this is really the belief that we need. And that belief, when we feel it, we will literally realize it and we'll be able to, if you will, see it. And then step three, according to the scientists, is these thoughts create energy that then creates matter, matter. And this is why thoughts become things. And so I don't know if you can see those little pictures, but I got little diagrams on there, and then you got the castle at the bottom on our dreams. Our dreams can come true, and they truly can. And by understanding what I'm going to share with you tonight, your dreams will come true. The scientists, however, forgot about one thing, and that is God. And that we are believers in America, we are believers in God, and science, just for whatever reason, neglects the God to include God. So I've included God because we have to include God in order to actually get what we want, because it is the Father who is the one that is going to receive our prayer instantly answer our prayer. And then again, you'll see you have to do one more step. And there's only two steps we need to do to have everything that we want. And you're going to learn this tonight, understand this tonight. And it's going to be a blessing to you as long as you just do what I ask you to do. And know that my only agenda is to help you become your greatest possibility. So we have to ask, and then we will receive. And the Father does the work. So the 5 steps actually are: step 1, it is our prayer. And our prayer isn't when our hands are folded and we're on our knees. That our prayer is our every moment of thought. Every time we are thinking, God is listening to us and answering those prayers. So yes, thought is the first thing, and it's your all-powerful thought. Each one of us have the power to literally manage the energy that creates worlds and mold it into our life experience in anything that we want. And this is why all things are possible with God. And it all starts, though, with us and our asking our thoughts. And and let me just share with you, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. Out of those 60,000 thoughts, and the reason why they call me Dr. Hank, I'm a mental scientist, so I know stuff like this, if you will. About 80% of those thoughts are unwanted thoughts, or what most people would call negative thoughts. So if our thoughts create our experience, that no wonder why our experience isn't the joyful, blissful life that we're supposed to have. That you heard Teresa saying that she is living right now. So this is possible, and you'll see how easy and simple it is to have what you ask for, what you want, and to get it. So step one is indeed our thoughts. Step two, I want to back up again on these thoughts. 80% of the thoughts are negative. Well, it gets even worse. And you go, oh my God, how can it get worse than that? And that is 95% of our thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday, which gives us the same tomorrow, because our thoughts create. And so these magnificent, powerful thoughts, we're wasting all this beautiful blessings and miraculous ability that God has given us on silly stuff like watching the news, like complaining, like blaming, like fearing. There's nothing to fear. But we have been taught, a bunch of things. Our parents and teachers and whatever did the best that they could, but they didn't understand how life really plays. So our thoughts, in fact, create energy, our emotional energy. And so the beauty of this is that you don't have to do step two. It's going to automatically happen. And so this is also why you can't lie to God. And so let me give you an example. Let's say that we have a thought on, oh, I need more money. Okay. And so your prayer is, oh, I want more money. But what are you really thinking? You're thinking you don't have enough money. So the emotion that you are emitting to God, which Christ was asked, where is God? God is within me. And so the emotion you're emitting to your higher power, to God Almighty that is within you, is actually, I don't have enough money. So God goes, no problem. Your prayer is not enough money, and I'll give you more, not enough money. Now, did you get that? It's a little confusing because, you think like, but no, I'm asking for what I want, but really you're feeling that you don't have enough, and whatever that is. And so, people say, and here's what magnificent creators you are, you can prove it to yourself. You've said many times, oh, I don't have enough time. And so God goes, okay, no problem. I'll make sure you have not enough time. And guess what? Our lives then have not enough time. If you actually look at time, there's 168 hours in each week. And take out 80 hours a week for work and, whatever, 20 hours or, sleep every night for 8 hours. And you still have 20, 30 hours left. So we all have plenty of time, but we're so powerful, but we're saying the wrong things to ourselves. Or another no-no is don't say, oh, I'm too busy, because that becomes your prayer. And then God says, no problem, I'll bring it on. I'll bring busyness onto you. And that's why most people think they don't have enough time and why they're so busy. Okay. So our thoughts create this energy. And this energy then, our emotions, is then sent instantly to God and God Almighty within us. So it doesn't go out here. I always get a kick out of, football players. You'll see it all over that, they make a touchdown. They go, oh, thank you very much. And what are they, pointing up for? There's nobody up there, if you will. The kingdom is within us and God is within us. So God immediately receives and then answers all of our prayers. But again, you may be asking, but where's my stuff? That I had God's answering to my prayers. Where's my stuff? Well, it's actually in energy form and it's all ready for you. So everything that you have asked for is here for you. However, you need to do step 4. So only 2 things you need to do. is your thoughts, and keep your thoughts on what you want, on what you like, on what you love, on what you desire, on what your dreams are. Most people's, I interviewed an Olympic gold medalist 2 days ago, and she was telling me that, and she didn't get that gold medal till she was 34 years old. And it all happened because, and she actually wrote a book about it, on the 100 steps up. And it was really an interesting story. And Teresa, how much time do I have? Because I don't want to, is this 20 minutes or do you want, give me a time. I can't hear you.
I was trying to unmute you. Forever and forever and forever. So 30 minutes. Now I can't hear you. Here we have some coming soon.
Can you hear me now? You got to watch it on First Responders VIP. If you say something, they mute you right off, boy.
Oh my God.
You got to watch your tongue around here. Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
fun.
much fun. Yes,
yeah. So I get it, and I understand where we are with time. Thank you. That, but it's a very interesting story. So this Olympic gold medalist, that she was 12 years old, and she was the happiest girl in the whole wide world, and she lived on a lake. And there were 100 steps from the lake. There were 100 steps you had to walk up in order to get to your home. It was just a beautiful life that she loved it. And she would take a bus to school. But one day, her teacher said, hey, you need to go home right away. And so we're going to take you via boat. It was the fastest way to get home is via boat. So she hops on this boat with her girlfriend. They take her to the pier of her home that she lives in with her mom and dad, and she gets off the pier with her girlfriend, and oh, she's just so happy as a lark, and she's walking up these 100 stairs, and she gets to the 100th stair, and she opens up the door, and her dad informs her that her older brother, who's 19 years old, just died in Vietnam. And it crushed her. She went from very happy to the valley, and all of us have been in that valley. And she was in that valley, and she stayed in that valley for 12 years until, 10 years, until one day she realized what she was doing. And she was taking cocaine every night. And at 5 o'clock, she'd go to sleep. And she was brought up Catholic. So she would go to sleep with her heart beating hard from the cocaine at 5 in the morning. And she would pray, Father, forgive me of my sins, and please let me not live another day. And one day, God knocked on her door and said, do you really want this? And she woke up and she started getting help. And she went from there at 22 years old to about 10 years later, becoming an Olympic gold medalist. And so we all have the power. So this contrast, things that have happened to us in the past that, have been bad, or how our parents were, or how our religion was, or whatever it is, our sickness that we have, whatever it is, it actually can help us, and it can catapult us to a whole new level. And so I want all of us to realize that you're right now in the most powerful place you can ever be in, and that's in this present moment. And as you think more about the things that you do desire, about the things that you do want, and I'm going to help you with that by, if you're interested, you can email me. My email is drhank@drhank.biz, B-I-Z, and I'll send you a joy shot And it will be the start of your journey to turning that 80% of negative thoughts to 80% or higher of positive, wanted thoughts, to where you will be able to live your dreams and have your dreams come true. So, amen to that. Yeah.
Amen.
We love it. We love it. And so back to that, we just need to do one more thing. So I already shared with you on how you have a way now to your path, the next step in order to have your thoughts the way that you want them and not be thinking. See, we've been trained to try to manipulate the outside world. You don't need to manipulate the outside world. You just need to go within in your inside world and what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And in fact, a quote that I just recently sent out to some dear people, but and you may want to write it down, that the ego says, once everything falls into place, I will have peace. Okay, so the ego says, once everything falls into place, I will have peace. But the soul says, first find peace within, and then everything will fall into place. Again, the soul says, first find peace within, and then everything will fall into place. And truly, that is where everything begins. That's the only thing you need to manage is your own thoughts, your own feelings. So step 4 is simply to, and my computer froze. Let's see, I cannot go anywhere here. Let's see. There we go. I asked Steve Jobs. I always, when I have a technology issue, I call in Steve Jobs. And of course, Steve Jobs isn't here in physical form anymore, but he's definitely here. We're all have eternal beings. And so I call him in for my technology. So thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate you. And so the only step we need to do is step 4, and that is Abe. And Abe is to allow this, to allow yourself to have more of whatever you want, health, relationships, money. You deserve it. You deserve it all. You're a child of God. To believe it. And again, I can help you with beliefs. In fact, I have a book called, in fact, Angelica, I think you're on that book, called Your Royal Path to Riches. And your picture is on that with all of us, that your royal path to riches. It talks all about the subconscious mind and how to tap into the kingdom within us to be able to improve our beliefs. Many of our beliefs that we have don't serve us anymore. And this will help you to improve your beliefs. And then to expect it. Expect that you have a brighter future from this moment on. Expect that you have a brighter future. Expect that everything is getting better and better. Don't say things like, oh, I'm getting older. Like every morning, I say I'm getting younger and younger every day. And because our powerful mind will create it. Most people think I'm in my 50s, and I'm not. And so it's a beautiful life. And we're meant to just skip along here and enjoy it. And then step 5 is we get to receive it. And we get to receive the things that we've asked for. And God would like nothing more than to give you everything that you want, that you desire, to have your dreams come true. But you have to be the one to be thinking about your dreams and not about the things you don't want or about the world and how you don't like the world. Because this world has everything we want in it or anything we don't want in it. And wherever you focus your attention on, that's what you're going to get more of. So focus your attention on what you want, not on the things that are going on in your life. Because remember, reality isn't what's going on in my life. I just shared with you the reality is whatever I'm thinking creates my life. And so I don't care what, it's old news, whatever's going on in my life right now. What's new is what I'm going to be thinking right now in order to create my bright future. So with that, any thoughts, comments, questions? What did you like best?
So I have a thought. So when I first met Dr. Hank, it's been over 3 years, I believe.
I think so.
And I was with another broker, a boutique firm. I'd already started First Responder VIP. It was called something different. And when I went to meet with him and we talked about, the different things he was doing, and he said, "What do you want?" Usually that's kind of a rude phrase. What do you want? But he said it so lovingly. He's like, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want to help other realtors be successful, not just in wealth, but in happiness and health, freedom, and to feel really significant out there in the world." Because those are the things that I wanted. And I also want to take the First Responder VIP program national. And he said, "Well, when can you start? Let's start right now." And then he said, "What do you want first? Do you want training or mindset therapy?" And I said, mindset. And we spent a whole good year to turn, I'm a pretty advanced person. And I can't tell you what an incredible year that was. But he started me out with 2 things. He said, "I want you to look into your directory, your address book, whatever it is." And this was in November, approaching November. He said, "I want you to write a handwritten note to everyone that you've ever known that know you in this business or industry. And I want you to tell them how much you appreciate them." And so I did. Well, there were hundreds of those. He said, "And then I want you to sit down every day and I want you to write this quote. By day and by night." Okay, let me think. "By day and by night, I attract people who want what I have to offer."
Perfect.
Did that 21 times for 21 days. And that first quarter, and I had come back I had really just kind of come back a year before because I had moved on to new construction at some point. So I'd only really been at it a year. And that first January, February, March, oh my goodness. Not only was I touching base with people that I dearly loved and hadn't talked to in forever, but suddenly they wanted to get together for lunch and they wanted to list their home and they wanted to buy a new home and they wanted to know more about investment properties. And I will never forget that quarter. And of course, on the phone with Dr. Hank once a week, in the coaching sessions, like, I just can't believe this. And he said, "Well, you clearly knew exactly what you wanted. The only difference was that you needed to ask for it and you needed to be open to receiving it."
Beautiful. Yeah. And then you got to a point where you had so much business that you said, "I'm really not happy." And I said, "Well, go do what you're happy and you'll see you'll get more business and be happier."
Yeah.
And so you discovered your painting, started painting, discovered your yoga and with neighbors, and pretty soon you moved into a new neighborhood and you were the queen of the neighborhood and had lots of business, but you were happy. And it's just beautiful. And that's how easy really all of this is. And for those of you that, maybe listening to this later time, or Suzanne, that probably the the best program I've ever written was earlier this year called Easy Money, Easy Life. And I've offered my programs for $2,500, whatever. But for first responders, for $97, you get this just amazing program with 3 videos and magical sentence to give you more easy money, easy life. Archangel Michael does a meditation that will put you into step 4, allowing, believing, and expecting. So if you have an interest in that, know that that is available, and I offer that to you. It's the fastest way I know in order to have an easy life and easy money. In fact, I've also put it into a book. That's what the book looks like. But again, this is a whole program with 3 incredible videos, and so something that you may want to enjoy as well. So with that, any other thoughts? Suzanne, do you have any questions?